Hello, hello, people of the internet. Look what I've got for you today. This is the Genesis GV80 Coupe. Yes, stick with me here. This is a coupe because it's a SUV with a slanty roof. It qualifies as a coupe in today's world. Not in the world I grew up in, but in today's world. So, yeah, that's what it is. But is it any good? Well, let's get into the details and find out. As normal protocol, we'll begin with styling. You know what, when I first saw pictures and launch video of this vehicle, honestly, I didn't care for it. I questioned why come out with a GV80 Coupe when the GV70 exists, because that's like a coupe-ish crossover. But having seen these around and now spending time with one, yeah, it's beginning to make more sense. After all, BMW has X4s and X6. They even have an X2. So you can have the sporty crossover styling in different sizes. If other companies can do it, so why can't Genesis? Yeah, that's why they did it. And I think it's quite pretty. And unlike some other crossovers that have coupe-ish bodies, this one's actually pretty spacious, front or back. We'll get into the interior in a lot more detail, but yeah, this thing is good looking and practical. I'd say that's a win. So a big part of the reason Genesis vehicles look very good is because their chief designer is Luke Donkerwolk. Luke's resume includes designing cars at Lamborghini and Bentley. So he does know a thing or two about making attractive vehicles. If I have one suggestion for Genesis regarding this, is this little piece here. I wish it was a electronically deployed spoiler. This doesn't really do anything. So I don't know if that would have actually helped give it downforce, but some competition do put spoilers that pop up. They look kind of cool. Look at the Porsche Cayenne Coupe, for instance. So it would have been nice to have Genesis do something like that. Apart from that, it is very nice. So what's it like on the inside? Well, step in. Well, like a lot of new vehicles, it's got a big flat screen display. The seats, they are quite good, quite comfortable. Lots of adjustments, even massage. And that's standard. Both front seats have massage. So no complaints about the seats. Now that I'm seated, let's look at this in more detail. The fit and finish and the quality of the materials is really quite good. I like the fact this area here is well padded, because the way I sit, I have my knee mostly towards the door, so it gives me a nice cushioning. I like that. Coming around into the center, you've got an actual volume knob, these to control different features, which then you use this iDrive style controller to go through menu items. The home button here to get to the home screen. It has a lot of different menu items. I was going to get somebody from Genesis to talk about all these features, but yeah, they backed out, so you have me. This is how you control the transmission. Twist it. Drive is this way, reverse is this way, this is park. What I don't like is this is a round knob, this is a round knob. Gets confusing. This is also a round knob. This is for the drive mode selector. You can also turn off auto start stop, the parking sensors, and the 360 camera, which is pretty handy. Here you're seeing a red glow because it's got ambient lighting. You can change the color of this ambient light. There are quite a few different options available. To change the ambient lighting, you get into setup, vehicle, go down into lights, ambient lighting. Now you control the brightness from there, but color. Now it gives you different colors. So now it says aquamarine. So you press that. See, that changed. Pearl white. That's pearl white. Topaz yellow. That's topaz yellow. Sard brown. Brown. Garnet red. Amethyst. Sapphire violet. Zircon blue. Emerald blue green. Peridot green. And then you can create a custom color, which I'm not gonna bother with right now. I'll leave it sapphire violet. How about that? Space in the back is fairly good as well, and there are some seat adjustments here too. So you can change the backrest angle, you can move it up or back, and when you're carrying things, you can just fold the seats down. Come around to the trunk. Put this cover away. So that seat I folded down, well, I can fold down the other one too. But with the press of this button, I can bring the seats back. The floor is a little high. There is some space underneath, but not a lot. So it's not the most spacious trunk you'll find in a crossover, but more than enough space for most people for their daily chores. Lovers of the sun, you can hit this switch and you will get a fairly big sunroof. Well, the glass portion is fairly big, but the opening isn't. The steering wheel, I like the fact that it's not around. It's got a bit of flat bottom here. That's pretty good. On this side you have adaptive cruise control features, then some menu screens. Here you have volume control, phone, voice activation, and then this thing controls the center screen there. You can change different menu items. There you go. It's pretty neat. Also very neat is this rear view mirror. It's a electronic mirror, so right now you're looking at the screen. If I flick this switch, it's the regular mirror, and see, now you can hardly see what's behind me. If I turn the camera mirror on, the image is much clearer. That's very cool. I like that. Let's see what's under the hood. Gas struts keeping it up, and it seems to be powered by plastic, but it's an actual engine. A 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 with a 48 volt E supercharger. In total you get 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. All that power is fed to all wheels via an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's quick. It's not mind-blowingly quick, but it's quick. So what's it like to drive? Well, let's fire up and get going. Now when you fire up, what I've noticed is that this screen does take a bit of time to really wake up. See, now the stereo comes on. So it doesn't come on right away. It takes a little bit of time. And the car at this point had been started a few times already, so it actually started up faster than it usually does. So yeah, maybe they need a faster processor. Okay, drive. Controller, you twist this knob and you're in drive. What is it like to drive? Well, eco mode is extremely dull. If you are buying a twin turbo V6 with a E supercharger and you're only driving that vehicle in eco mode, well, you're a bit of a moron. It's just not enough go in eco. It's defeating the purpose of this kind of powertrain. So I'm gonna go into next, comfort. Now comfort isn't exactly exciting either. It's a little bit better than eco, but comfort is fine for when you're covering distances. For instance, going out of town and you're on cruise control. Comfort is fine. You don't need to be engaged. Next, we'll get into sport. F-150 was in a hurry. Now sport is nice. It's responsive, it sounds better. Sport is the setting I prefer to drive it in most of the time. I think if you're buying this vehicle, yeah, you should be driving it in sport mode pretty much every day, except perhaps when you're in a traffic jam. But sport is not the be-all, end-all. There is one more mode that is even better. It's called Sport Plus. One more twist of the knob and I'm in Sport Plus. Oh, now this engine wakes up. Now you can tell it has 409 horsepower. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but trust me, it's more than fast enough to keep you entertained and bypass 80% of cars on the road. They won't be able to keep up with this. Alright, I'm about to come up to a corner which is a little off camber, surface isn't great. Well, all-wheel drive grip helps, but this is a heavy vehicle and the suspension is a bit too soft. So it's not the ideal back road carving sporty crossover, but you know what, it's quite good. I can live with this every single day of the year, in fact. I believe you get winter tires as part of your package of buying a GV80 Coupe, so there you go. Winter is solved as well. Good car, good car. What's it like on the highway? Well, hit that in 10 seconds. The brakes require a bit more effort than I prefer personally, but you learn the limits of the vehicle. If you drive within them, it's perfectly fine. The highway, let's drop it down to sport. Let's set the cruise control on. Sit back, relax. It doesn't have autonomous driving, but it will do lane centering, and it of course got adaptive cruise control. And you'd be surprised for how long you can drive without touching the wheel. During one test, I got 2 minutes out of the vehicle before it wanted me to grab the wheel. So a very, very autonomous Genesis is not far away, if you ask me. This is so cool. Also, it does when you indicate, see, it's now telling me to hold the steering wheel, but it also has an assistance for changing lanes. It's a clever piece of kit, this vehicle. Coming up to a traffic light, and look, there's a regular GV80 at the lights. Those are nice too. The coupe is just more fun to drive. So if you don't need a lot of space, buy the GV80 Coupe. You'll thank me. Fuel economy. Well, we typically base our result on 300 kilometers of driving. 299.7 is fairly close to 300 kilometers. I think you'd all agree. And I've averaged 13 liters per 100 kilometers. So it is a bit on the thirsty side, but maybe I've been enjoying it a little too much. If you don't drive like I do, if you drive in the boring eco mode, you'd probably do better than this. Results to another fuel economy run. 95% of this was on the highway. So covered 215 kilometers and averaged 10.6 liters per 100k. So it is a bit on the thirsty side. Can't avoid that. Price. In Canada, the GV80 Coupe is yours from $104,150. There are no trim packages, no options. So all you do is pick the color and off you go. I think that's a very good idea. I wish more car companies made things this easy and simple. A very cool feature with the top tier Genesis products is that with the key fob, not only can you start the vehicle, which is fairly normal, but you can actually move it. So you press another button and look at that, you can drive the car from the outside. It's really helpful when you're trying to get out of a tight parking spot. Of course, you can move it backwards too. I really like this feature. I think it has real world applications. However, a feature I wish this had was adjustable ride height. So if you're not very tall, yeah, you're gonna struggle a bit climbing into this vehicle. Adjustable ride height would have solved that problem, or maybe even fold out side steps. Maybe the next time around they do this vehicle, they'll at least do one of those features. I'd go with adjustable ride height. So what's my verdict? The GV80 Coupe actually turned out to be a nicer car to drive and live with than I was expecting. It's still not the sportiest crossover you can get, but it's got plenty of performance for your daily driving. It looks good, sounds good, it's got a luxurious interior, lots of tech. It really does do pretty much everything. It's a bit on the pricey side, but then the competition has gotten even more expensive, and with Genesis's service all inclusive for several years, yeah, it makes this a very attractive vehicle. So if you're in the market for a coupe-ish crossover, you really need to drive this one. I think you'll like it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you.